welfare revolutionaries. They were begging, please, can we, it's great expectation, or not great expectations, Oliver Twist. Can we please have some snacks and water? They were, the irony of these people demanding humanitarian aid. This is the same university where they were blocking Jewish students from entering actual buildings to go to class. And it's one of the reasons why the college had to suspend classes, because it was unsafe because of people like Ms. Slutsky. I wanted to enunciate, Kane. You'd laugh at me, but I wanted to make sure I got that consonant in there.
It's an important talent to have in radio.
Yeah. She
television.
describes herself as an expert for progressive and leftist causes. Why do they all have a particular look? Can I just say what we're all thinking? They're all ugly. Let's be real. If you can't be hot, be a revolutionary, right? Isn't that how it goes today? If you don't got it, looks wise, then try to go out there and agitate, get yourself some attention that way. So she was being grilled by this reporter who said, it seems like you're saying we want to be revolutionaries, but would you please bring us some food? Can I have no one's buying. I watched literally on one video where a protester at Columbia was walking around with cans of Coke or cases of Coca-Cola. And then someone goes, it's a Zionist company, man. And the guy was like, I know, but you want some Coke. It just good grief. But I want to start off the show, though. I do have a good thing. And this was a really, I thought, uplifting story. And this took place, if you follow me on social media, you see this. It took place at UNC-Chapel Hill. And, they had protests at UNC-Chapel Hill, riots, I should say. And they had a group of pro-Hamas rioters that took down this U.S. flag. And they put up in its place like a Hamas flag or Gazan flag or whatever. I mean, you vote for them and you love them, so it's kind of the same difference. And then the police arrived and they took that flag down and they put the American flag back up. And there was a photo that was captured by, I think, a fellow student named Parker Ali. And it showed I think this is the photo of the year. It showed a group of fraternity brothers at UNC. The much described frat bros. When everyone talks of toxic masculinity, they always talk about frat bros. And I think frats get a bad rap, personally. And it showed this group of dudes, these fraternity brothers at UNC-Chapel Hill. They saw what was happening. These guys saw the police trying to replace the Gaza flag with the American flag again and put it up. And the rioters ran forward and they were trying to tear the flag away and tear it to shreds. And this group of fraternity brothers, which I think is the photo of the year, they protected that American flag from these pro-Hamas rioters. And in the photo that Juan's going to show you in the simulcast for the radio program, they were holding it up so that it wouldn't touch the ground. It's not raining there, by the way. They're being pelted. They're being pelted with rocks, other debris, water bottles, all kinds of stuff, sticks. And they were screamed at by rioters. These fraternity brothers at UNC-Chapel Hill stood there for an hour until the rioters lost interest and energy. And they protected that flag. They wouldn't allow it to touch the ground. And they would not allow the rioters to grab it, rip it from the flagpole, and tear it to shreds. And they endured assaults. They were assaulted. And I love this group of dudes. I love the guy's expression. One of the dudes in the front who's got a blue shirt on, and he's standing in front of his brothers protecting them. And he's just smiling, and he's recording all of these angry rioters. This is the photo of the year. I think this is the photo of the year. All of these guys. One of the frat brothers is a student. He's a freshman in college. His name is Guillermo Estrada. He's a military kid. His family's military. He talked about how his family served and his family came to the United States. And and he's in the picture. He's pictured in there. He's kind of under the flag, so it's a little hard to see him. But he's in there. And Guillermo Estrada, his family came to the United States. They became citizens. They served the country. They, became Americans. They built the American dream. And he said it enraged him to see these rioters disrespect a symbol of what his family fought hard to attain. And I would imagine he's not the only one there with a story like that. So when you hear all of these stories of these moronic, and here's video of this, these moronic rioters, you need to remember this fraternity at UNC-Chapel Hill. And there's video of them in the simulcast. They're holding the flag up. They would not allow Old Glory to touch the ground. And I love in the background the guy that's holding up the Israeli flag, America's ally, just out there in the quad for support. And all these guys are holding up the flag, and then the abuse started. It is just a photo for the ages. So shines a good deed in a weary nation indeed. I love this so much. There was, I gotta say, this is one of the reasons why I love the internet too. And they stood like that for an hour, by the way. So they're, it's Phi Kappa Phi. Pi Kappa Phi. That's the frat. And now the country seeks to repay the good deed by doing what Americans do best. Throwing them a rager. So there's literally a Give, Sin, Go, I believe, that's out there to throw these good lads a rager. They deserve it at the end of a trying year with all the finals. And then in the thick of it all, the most stressful point in college, these young men stood and faced a braying terrorist mob. God bless America. If I was the president of UNC-Chapel Hill, each of these lads would be getting a scholarship. Take it from the damn endowment, or you know what? Take it from the students who you kick out on their asses and give these lads a scholarship. Well done, boys. Well done, men. That's that toxic masculinity for you. I love it so much.
And just to clarify, it's a GoFundMe.
Is it GoFundMe?
I just put the link in there, and I can actually tweet it out.
I mean, I do believe these gentlemen deserve a good way to end the year. I mean, it's the least a grateful nation can do, ladies and gentlemen. So there's some good stuff there. One of the things that I've noticed is I've seen this, and in some instances this is true, but this is not true in every instance. I have seen a huge effort to try to portray these rioters as all being outside agitators, and they are not. They had, I was looking at this, one of the lists for arrests, like in Florida, they were all Florida students. The protest at Florida University, every single one of them but 2 people that were arrested were students there. I think that I want to be careful because I do think that there is this huge effort to portray everything as outside agitation, and it's not. Is it being funded by outside sources? Of course it is. But it's not outside agitators, and here's why I think it's dangerous to keep pushing that narrative. You're ignoring the problem that's been festering on college campuses for over 20 years now. These are protesters who watched their parents' generation and their grandparents' generation, like back in the 60s and 70s, do all of this stuff. The Chicago DNC, the Weathermen, all of this. And they're trying to recapture the glory days of what they think protests were. And you know what? Protests now are as much as they ever were then. It's a bunch of sad sack loser commies who come together and try to create confusion and chaos, and they rain destruction. There's no difference. I mean, I think some of the fashion's still the same. There's no difference. But I want to be really careful in not allowing them to skate, because this is what these universities built. It is not all outside agitators. I think that's maybe an exception. That's not a rule. And in a lot of these arrests that I've been seeing, it's outside agitators aren't even making up half of the arrests. So I do want to be careful in that. You don't need outside agitation. These universities have been creating little Castros for years now. They don't need outside agitators because they grew them within.